Good evening, everyone. This is Pradeep, Ambassador of Change from GETI, the Global Education and Training Institute of Lucknow. It is the premier training institute in India for teachers and principals, and we have many pre-service and in-service programs. For more information on this, please go to 740-840-1000. Right now, you are on our disruptive education platform provided to us by our mentor, Dr. Sunita Gandhi. On this platform, we have interacted with more than 1,100 educators from India and all over the world. And this evening, we have for you Ms. Padma Sekar. She is an educator and trainer of the Stonehill International School in Bangalore, Karnataka. She has been an educator for more than 2 decades now, and she was the founder, ICSC head of Trio World School, Bangalore, and the academic head of Ganna Jyoti School, also I think in Bangalore. Due to her love for teaching and learning with children, she moved back to being an educator at Stonehill International School, where she is at present. She loves reading books. She has 4 dogs, 3 golden retrievers and a pug as pets, and keeps doing different courses as an ardent learner. So thank you, ma'am, for being with us. And she's going to be talking on creating global citizens. So over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Pradeep. Thank you for having me here, and thanks to GETI for having me here for the 4th time. It's a pleasure to be online always and sharing my thoughts. Just that to be here and to talk about things that are happening currently, that itself is such a pleasure. So I'm going to be actually taking you through creating global citizens. So why do we need to create global citizens? Do we need global citizens? What is global citizen? Who is called a global citizen? So we're going to have a chat about all of these now. So I'm going to quickly take you on, because keep your device also ready, because I'm going to also take you on to another website called menti.com. That's a favorite of mine. I've used it in my previous webinars as well. It's menti.com, menti.com. So I hope you're able to see my screen now. So I've been, like Mr. Pradeep said, I'm an educator at Stonehill International School. Earlier, I've been the founder, ICSC head of Trio World School, and also worked with a rural school called Ganna Jyoti School in the outskirts of Bangalore as the academic director. My love to be with kids and be with the curriculum brought me back to being with the kids as an educator. I always like to test new waters. That is what brought me into a new curriculum, which is the IB board. So Stonehill International School is a versatile international school. So we launch it. Who are global citizens? What does it mean to you? So I'm going to ask you to log into menti.com. Please use this code 92841944. Log into menti.com. Use code 92841944. I also will go into menti.com to show you what you are all presenting. What are your thoughts on global citizenship? Who are global citizens? I'm going to give you a couple of minutes for that. You can put in 3 entries. So that's your first question. I am not sure if all of you have been able to go into menti.com. 92841944. I haven't seen yet any entry. I'm not sure if I have an audience right now. Yes, I can see one person here. So the question is, what does global citizen mean to you? What does it mean by global citizens to you? Well, I can't see anybody's yet, because the beauty of this is a beautiful word cloud comes up. I can't see anybody yet onto menti.com.
Ma'am, don't wait for anybody.
All righty. So I'm not going to wait. So if you are there and if you've not logged on, never mind. You can also put it into your chat. Are you a global citizen? Are you a 21st century citizen? Are you open-minded? Are you aware of local issues? Do you extend your awareness to global issues? These are questions I want all of you to think about. They are deep questions, fat questions, things that we don't often think about. While the world may be increasingly interconnected, now it's all just a click of a button. We connect to every single person from any corner of the world, but still, there are so many human rights violations, inequality, and poverty. They still threaten peace and sustainability. Mr. Pradeep, I think there's also a problem in viewing for the audience, if I may just tell you that, because there are some people trying to text me saying that they are not able to log in. Mr. Pradeep, are you there?
Ma'am, they should be able to log in on on the original one that we sent you.
I think they are not able to see anything. So there are
Okay.
people who are texting me saying that they are not able to see. So I just want to know if there's any troubleshooting that's happening.
No, they can get onto that global education link we sent you in your creative.
Yeah, but it's there are people who are telling me that they are not able to get in. They can see you and me, the first part of it, but they are not able to hear or anything. Anyway, so if there is a problem with it, I'm not
I'm
sure.
on it, ma'am. I'm on it myself. I can see it.
Okay, all right. I'm just going to, all right, never mind. We will just go ahead and we will. Okay, so we are still talking about human rights violations. Afghanistan is a classic example. The current scenario that's happening, there's inequality and poverty. They still threaten peace. Rich are getting richer, poor are getting poorer, and sustainability. Today, I read somewhere that Ambani's wife and daughter, they recycle their wardrobe, unlike other celebrities, because celebrities are not the ones who recycle their clothes. Once they wear it, it's gone. But I heard Ambani's family is recycling, and I said, sustainability. I mean, that is how things are happening now. Well, let's have a peek into some people's lives. You must be wondering, why am I talking about global citizenship? How does it matter to me? How does it matter to us? We've got so many problems in our house, in our locality, in our neighborhood. Yes. So, global citizenship is not just all about global, it's about a person who actually thinks not just about oneself, but also thinks about the locality, the nation, and it's all about connecting to the world, connecting to see what are the problems outside. Not just for my community, not just for my tribe, but as a nation by itself. So let's take a look at some of the people's lives. I don't know if anybody has heard about Davina James Stewart, who is changing the world one penny at a time. So she's a proud founder of Pennies for Girls, a girls' education right activist and a global citizen living in USA. Now, what is she? What did she do? She migrated long back to the US. She did not just think about herself. She did not think about her own country, her own tribe. She thought about girls, girls who are not able to go to school, girls who do not get education. So she launched a movement where it's changing the world one penny at a time. Here, she just connected with her friends, asking people to give a penny. And a penny grew, pennies, pennies, and pennies. She collected 700,000 pennies. And with that, she was able to educate 120 girls who have now gone to schools. She founded Pennies for Girls, and this is an organization that's working towards that. So she could change the world. Why not us? She could change the world. She started not just because she wanted to help her neighborhood. Let's have a look at another person. She has become so famous with the tweet that happened, which went viral, Greta Thunberg. Greta Thunberg was only 15 years old, a Swedish environmental activist. She started off with Fridays for Future, where she went on a strike, also called School Strike for Climate. She protested outside the parliament. She stopped going to school because of the global climate change that happened. We are all affected by climate change. She did not say, so what? There are so many other people, let them do something. She, as a little child, just a 15-year-old teenager, wanted to make that little change. Why talk about people outside our countries? But before that, let's look at global citizen. If you've heard about Hugh Evans, he in his TED talk says, he's a person, a global citizen is a person who first identifies not as a member of a state, not saying, I'm from Tamil Nadu, I'm from Kerala, I'm from Punjab, I'm from UP, not as a tribe, not a religion or a nation, but as a member of the human race, and acts on that belief to tackle world's problems. He says, the world's future depends on global citizens. Well, you must be wondering, oh, those people are all outside. But let's look at our own country. These are 10 young people from our very own country, our own humanitarians who brought change and are still bringing in change. I don't know how many of you have even heard these names before. Have you ever heard about Somil Daga, Sashank Diora, Simran Singh, Jitin Nedamula, Srikant Bola, Pallavi? There are so many people, endless people, but these are 10 such significant people. I will tell you a little about a few of them, and you will be surprised that these people also exist in our country. So let me talk about Srikant. Now, Srikant went on to become Srikant Bola. Here you can see. He went on to become the first visually challenged student from India to get admission at the prestigious Massachusetts Institute of Technology. And today he has helped hundreds of people with disability find meaningful employment. Pallavi, she's from Karnataka, and she has set up an organization in some of the villages. She's been working and training women to do handicrafts and has given employment opportunities for them. Simran Singh, she raised awareness about women's health in Rajasthan. Not only that, she also went a step ahead and started working on the production of sanitary napkins with women's clothes that are available locally. And that is how she has created awareness, health awareness, and employment opportunities. So these are some of the own Indians who have brought in change. Somil Daga, he's a graduate from Velo Institute of Technology and an engineer by profession. Somil decided to work towards providing lighting and charging portable devices at Bihar, and he has been working over there. Sashank Diora, he was a forest management student. He could have easily become an IFS officer, but decided against it and started working as a humanitarian to bring in progress, bring in change. These people's small actions put together, they have been creating so many employment opportunities and so much of awareness among people. These are some of them. The visually challenged person. This is the boy who has gone to Bihar to work. This is Simran Singh, who has brought in the change in Rajasthan. And here you find the girl from Karnataka who is working with rural people. Well, you must be wondering, where should all this begin? Do we need to teach global citizenship education to students? This is a question to think. Oh, exams. Oh my God, competitive exams, midterm exams. I happened to talk to somebody today in the morning and they said they're very busy because they're teaching their child. The child is on for a midterm exam. Of course, our education system is such. Of course, we need to teach them to write exams. But is that what we put a full stop there? No. Catch them young. That is where this all begins. Now, a question: can teaching students to view themselves as citizens of the world be the key to building peace and advancing equality and justice? This was a question that was discussed in the UNESCO forum in September recently. So there have been lots and lots of talks, not just now, for quite some time now, about educating students. And UNESCO has got a complete curriculum, a complete program for teaching global citizenship education for students. Now, let's go on to beyond academics. Is there something beyond academics? We all look at extracurricular activities. When we are enrolling our kids in a school, we look at how long can the child study over there? Does the school have a good library? Does the school have a good playground? Does it promote extracurricular activities? Do they make them learn by rote and produce marks? But do we really think whether they talk to the kids about current scenarios? Do we think about whether students are having meaningful conversations? Do parents have meaningful conversations with their children? Let's see. What do we need to do? So now, can parents in schools do something about creating global citizens? Now, these are some myths to bust, because the moment I am saying all this, there might be many people who must be thinking, oh my God, this is too difficult for young children to understand. How can they do it? They are so small. And parents might also be thinking, global citizenship education, another extra subject to cram up along with syllabus. Oh my God. Some parents start thinking, oh my God, the school is on for raising money for charity again. One more charity event. We don't want to contribute. Mostly or all about other people and places. That's some people thinking about that. Well, it's global citizenship is not about telling people what to do and think. It is not about all of these. It is not about raising money for charity. If you have these myths in your mind, I think we should take it out now, throw them away. What can educators, schools, and parents do then so that we can create global citizens? We all know today we are globally connected. We all want to send our kids abroad to study. We all want our children to get employment outside. Of course, there are people who love our country and stay back in our countries. But what can educators, schools, and parents do? Most often, we don't allow children to ask questions. Why? Why do we not make them ask questions? Let them ask you why. Have you ever heard about the why girl? Now, this is a beautiful story written by an author named, I'm just going to share this, an Indian author, Maheshwata. Now, this is a story about this little girl who was 10 years old. She used to ask so many questions. She always constantly kept asking, why is the grass green? Why shouldn't I catch a cobra? Why shouldn't we eat snakes? Why can't we do this? Why can't we do that? And that was a story about this why girl. And when that village had a school, the first person to go on to school was this particular girl. Not just that, the author I'm talking about, Maheshwata Devi, she is a social activist. She was a social activist and a writer. Her stories were always based on real people she met, especially in Eastern India. So there are people plenty of people who talk. Our own Karnataka, we have Timaka, who has been planting so many trees. She lives in Sekar Nagar in Bangalore, and she is such a sensation. Now, let your children, I know most often, I'm a working mother too. I've got grown-up children. When they were young and when they used to ask me questions, why this, why that, we would always get impatient because we've always got so many other things in our mind. We've always got to run for work, we've got to complete work at home. But I think the school plays an important role here. Let the children ask questions. Let them find out, let them inquire, and we don't have to be knowing it all. You can always come back and say, I will find it out. Talk to them about issues at school. We start small, we start from where we are. So there might be small little problems at school. There could be filthy toilets, there could be water that's not purified, there could be issues in the playground, there could be issues right outside school where there's a garbage dump happening. There could be local issues where there's a water problem, there is garbage dump, and move on to global issues. Start from always the known to the unknown. These are things that we, as schools, as educators, as parents, we can do all of this. The best time is this minute. So educate them about what's happening. Do not think Afghanistan is full of violence. I can't be talking to the children. I will not put on the news because there's so much of violence. When will the children know what is reality? Is reality just writing a competitive exam and just going ahead, getting a college seat, and then they go into the global world and they do not know how to problem solve? They do not know what's happening outside. Still, colleges are struggling. Employment, the companies are struggling because when they get out of college, they just come out as products from a factory. They are not employment ready. So they have to do a lot of training for them. So let us not for that. Let's educate them now. Inspire them. Books, tests, marks, syllabus, common entrance tests, they are not just the only things. Some schools, I've heard principals and teachers saying, why do you teach them beyond what is in the book? They just need to know the key words. They just need to know where to find out the answer. If they know these 2-3 lines, that's it. Teach them only that much. Don't go beyond that. Instill values to respect others in spite of their diversity. You have to make them open-minded, whether it's parents, whether it's schools. What do I mean by open-minded? Now, we are in Karnataka. We so many times have riots because there's a problem in sharing water between one state and the other. When we look at, and then there's vandalism. People say, oh, this person is from this state, beat up their car, just let them all suffer. Just not here, it's happening in so many places, so many countries. But we need to start respecting people for their culture, for their language. India is such a versatile country. It's got so many languages, it's got so many culture, it's got processes and routines. We should start from ourselves. Let us respect people from the other states. Let us be open-minded. Let us give them employment opportunities. There have been movies that have been made where Northeast people were tagged as fast-going girls. I mean, it's just about being open-minded. Ask them to solve problems. Please remember, they are not math problems. They are not algebra. They are not integration. They are not calculus. Let them problem solve. Look at problems in the locality. Let them give them little problems that are happening. They could be small ones. We are in a pandemic situation. It's been 1.5 years that we've not gone to school yet. The children are tired of staying at home. Parents are tired of staying and working from home. They have to manage home. They have to manage children. They have to be with them when they are online. This is the best time to talk about situations that's happening outside. We have so much more time now to talk to them. We don't have exams. Of course, there are exams that are happening in many schools, but global issues are still there. There's no school, but we are still having global issues. Let them make small changes. It could be a small thing like an electricity, switching off the lights. We start from there at home, switching off electricity, running water, stopping wastage. From there it begins, and then it moves on to the next step. Let them take small actions that can lead to a big change, like small drops of water make the mighty ocean. So we all need to make that little change. I don't know how many of you are aware of these UN Sustainable Development Goals. UNESCO, the UN is called, has got 17 goals, and by 2030, they want to achieve quite a lot from these 17 goals. Introduce them to the United Nations Global Goals. MUN is a fantastic opportunity. In many schools, they do have that. But you don't have to wait for MUNs. You don't have to wait for the schools to start these MUN programs. You can do it at home. You can talk to them about all of these. You can talk to them about any of these. Give them stories. There are plenty of stories available on these. And if I just spoke to you about Davina, now she has also gone to, she's got a group of people, and she went into one of the coastal areas and they started cleaning up the ocean out of plastic. So I'm not saying that kids have to take trash bags and go as rat pickers. I'm not saying that. But let us start educating them. Let us tell them that these are things beyond academics that exist. These are things that we need to look at as a big picture, as a big umbrella. There are so many things out in the world that they need to be aware of. The young children will be facing a world full of issues if they don't start taking action now. They are the ones who are going to be suffering. They are the ones who will be living with poverty. They are the ones who will be not able to live in a sustainable city and community. They will have to keep innovating new things because there's going to be scarcity of so many things. So my request to all of you is talk about sustainable development goals, educate the children, and let us be aware of all these issues. That is all I have from myself, because there's still so much to talk about. We can go endlessly talking about it, but I'm going to go back. Now the forum is open for question and answers. But think about this. My change makes the world change. It's never too early to start. Start the movement now to educate our young ones about global issues. Take a moment, absorb this thought. You make a change, your children will make the change observing you. Together, we can make a change in our neighborhood. Together as a neighborhood, we can make the change in the community. So that is what is the need of the hour. That is what we need to be doing now. I'm going to stop screen share. I'm going to go on. So the forum is open for questions, if any.
Ma'am, how does one implement this in a school environment? And how do we train our children to train other children to do the same thing?
Absolutely. That's a fabulous question, Mr. Pradeep. So, I, being an educator, we relate every single topic to connect it to one UN global goal. We do not connect it. We keep putting this up. We keep bringing in this topic into our classes, and children select what they can connect, which global goal. Now, the action need not be going out into the world. Like I said, small little things. So, educators, please talk to them about the global goals. Please talk to them about local issues. And then have a discussion, have a debate. We are on Zoom so many times, and kids are switching off their cameras. They are not involved. Let's spark discussions about it. There are so many little stories, like I told you, about UN global goals. Read out stories at least once a month. Let's talk about these issues. Let's have discussions and ask one kid to go and talk to another person. They can talk to their sibling, they can talk to one neighbor, and then that is how things multiply. And I think that is what we as educators, we as parents need to do now.
So thank you, ma'am, for that talk, very motivating talk on creating global citizens. And good evening, everyone. Before I leave, I request you to watch our Detox, our Disruptive Literacy Movement by Global Dream, which is an initiative again by Dr. Sunita Gandhi since 2014. The whole idea is to ensure everyone's participation in helping India achieve total literacy by a people's movement. Let each one teach one, or each one teach a lot more, especially us in the education field, and to ensure foundational literacy and numeracy in all of India. On this, we have several talks a day. And for more information on these talks, please again go to 740-840-1000. So thank you, ma'am, very much. And good evening, everybody. See you again tomorrow.
Thanks.